Good day everyone, I'm Teacher Justin and let's talk about quadratic functions. So quadratic functions is a second degree polynomial na may standard form na f of x is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are real numbers except that a should not be equal to 0. Tapos pag in-graph natin yung ating quadratic function, it will be like this. Okay, it will be a parabola opening upwards or a parabola opening downwards. Now, let's talk about the parts of our quadratic function. So, the graph of the quadratic function is called a parabola. Tapos, meron siyang vertex na ang vertex is the highest or the lowest point of the parabola. So, if it is opening upwards, it is the lowest point, and if it is opening downwards, it is the highest point of our parabola. Tapos, we have our axis of symmetry. So, the axis of symmetry is a vertical line passing through the vertex that will cut the parabola into two equal parts. So, pag finold natin yung parabola natin, magmamatch lahat ng points sa left part ng ating parabola and the right part of our parabola. Tapos, we have here the x-intercept. The x-intercept is part of the parabola that will pass through the x-axis. So, ito yung points ng ating parabola na tatama dun sa ating x-axis. So, it can be 1, 2, or walang x-intercept depende dun sa graph or location ng graph natin. Next is the y-intercept. The y-intercept is the part of the parabola that passes through the y-axis. So, ito yung part ng parabola natin na tatama sa y-axis. And last one is the maximum or minimum value. So, this is the y-coordinate of our vertex. So, gaano kataas, gaano kababa yung ating parabola. And that's it. Yan yung mga parts ng ating quadratic function. And let's have some examples in identifying the parts of our quadratic function given the graph. Alright. Okay, let's have this example. Let's identify the parts of our quadratic function. So, we're given the graph here. Identify natin yung vertex, axis of symmetry, and so on and so forth. So, let's start first with the vertex. Yung vertex is the highest or the lowest point of our parabola. So, kung ito yung parabola natin, matatagpuan natin siya sa pinakababa or sa pinakataas. So, ito yung pinakababa natin. Okay, it's located here. So, yung coordinate niya is -2, -9. So, ito yung ating vertex. It is located at -2, -9. Now, yung axis of symmetry natin, mag-drawing tayo ng vertical line passing through our vertex. Tapos, kunin natin yung ating x-coordinate ng ating vertex. So, we will have x is equal to -2. So, yung pagsulat natin ng axis of symmetry, it will be an equation for the vertical line, which is, we will have x muna, the variable x is equal to the value of our x-coordinate ng ating vertex. So, in this case, it will be x is equal to -2. Next, let's identify the maximum or minimum value. So, since yung vertex natin is located sa lowest point ng ating parabola, we are looking for the minimum value. So, the minimum value will be the y-coordinate of our vertex. So, yung y-coordinate ng vertex natin is -9. Tapos, now let's move on to finding the x-intercept and y-intercept. So, x-intercept muna tayo. So, yung x-intercept, ito yung part ng parabola natin na tatama dun sa ating x-axis. So, ito yung x-axis ng ating graph. Okay, ang tumama is dito at dito. So, the coordinate of our x-intercept is -50 and 10. So, laging ganyan po yung ating x-intercept. Naka-coordinate form, we have -5, 0 and 1, 0. Now, let's proceed to our y-intercept. So, yung y-intercept is the part of the parabola that passes through our y-axis. So, ito yung y-axis natin. Yung parabola natin tumama dito. So, it is located at 0, -5. Ayan. So, kompleto na yung parts ng ating quadratic function given the graph. And that's it. Tada! Alright. Let's have another item. So let's identify the properties of the graph of the quadratic function. So we're given the graph of our quadratic function and let's identify the given parts. So first, hanapin natin yung vertex. So the vertex is located at the highest or the lowest point of our parabola. So ito yung parabola natin. Since opening downward siya, the vertex is located at the highest point of our parabola. So nandito siya. So yung coordinate niya is located at 1, 9. So ito yung ating vertex. It is 1, 9. Tapos yung axis of symmetry naman, so mag-drawing tayo ng vertical line passing through our vertex. Tapos yung equation ng ating axis of symmetry will be x is equal to the x coordinate of our vertex. So x is equal to 1. That will be our axis of symmetry. Now, punta naman tayo sa maximum or minimum point. So, since yung vertex natin is located at the highest point, we're looking for the maximum value. And the maximum value is the y-coordinate of our vertex. So, yung y natin dito is 9. So, yung maximum value natin will be 9. Okay. Next, punta naman tayo sa ating x-intercept. So, yung x-intercept natin is part of the parabola that passes through the x-axis. So, yung x-axis natin nandito. So, yung dalawang point of intersection nila is negative 2 and positive 4. So, we have the location negative 2, 0 and 4, 0. So, dalawa yung ating x-intercept. Okay? Tapos, yung y-intercept naman, it is located here. Okay? So, yung coordinate ng y-intercept natin is 0, 8. And that's it. That will complete our parts of our quadratic functions given the graph. Ta-da! Alright. Okay, let's have another item. So, let's identify the parts of our quadratic function given the graph of our quadratic function. So, first step natin is look for our vertex. So, yung vertex natin is located at the highest or the lowest point. So, in this case, since yung parabola natin is opening upwards, yung vertex natin nasa baba. So, the lowest point is located here at negative 3, 0. Tapos, let's find our axis of symmetry. So, yung axis of symmetry, drawing tayo ng vertical line that will pass through our vertex. Tapos, yung sagot natin for axis of symmetry is an equation having x is equal to the x coordinate. So, yung x coordinate ng vertex natin is negative 3. So, yung axis of symmetry natin is x is equal to negative 3. So, next is let's find the maximum or minimum value. So, yung graph natin is opening upwards. So, yung vertex natin is nasa baba. Therefore, we're looking for the minimum value. And the minimum value of this quadratic function will be the y-coordinate of our vertex. And the y-coordinate of our vertex is 0. So, yung sagot natin dito will be 0. Okay. Now, punta naman tayo kay x-intercept at y-intercept. So, sa x-intercept, it is the part of the graph that passes through the x-axis. So, yung x-axis natin, ito. So, nandito yung ating x-intercept. So, yung x-intercept natin is located at negative 3, 0. So, pwedeng maging pareho yung vertex natin at yung x-intercept natin since pareho silang nasa x-axis. Now, punta naman tayo sa y-intercept. So, let's look at the graph and this is our y-axis. So, ano yung part ng graph natin kung saan nag-intersect si parabola at yung ating y-axis? So, it is located here. So, yung y-intercept natin is located at 0, 9. And that will complete our properties of our quadratic function. Tada! Alright. Okay, let's determine the properties of the graph of this quadratic function. So, first nating hahanapin is yung vertex. So, the vertex of this quadratic function is located at the highest or the lowest point of our parabola. So, in this graph, okay, since it is opening upwards, okay, we have the highest point. So, yung highest point natin is this part. Okay, so ito yung ating highest point and it is located at 0, 4. Okay, Now, punta naman tayo sa axis of symmetry natin. So, let's draw a vertical line passing through our vertex. So, yung axis of symmetry natin, it is an equation being x is equal to the x-coordinate of our vertex. So, the value of our axis of symmetry is x is equal to 0. So, ito yung ating axis of symmetry. Now, let's move on to finding the maximum or minimum value. So, since our parabola is opening downwards and our vertex is located at the highest point, we're looking for the maximum value. So, yung maximum value natin is the y-coordinate of our vertex. So, the y-coordinate of our vertex is 4. So, yan yung ating maximum value. Now, yung x-intercept naman at yung y-intercept. So, this is our x-axis. So, hanapin natin yung part ng parabola na nasa x-axis natin. So, we have negative 2 and positive 2. So, our x-intercept is located at negative 2, 0 and 2, 0. Now, let's proceed to our next part, which is the y-intercept. So, the y-intercept is the part of the parabola that passes through our y-axis. So, ito yung y-axis natin and it is located here. So, yung y-intercept natin is located at 0, 4. So, pwede rin yung vertex natin maging equal sa y-intercept. Kasi yung vertex natin at yung y-intercept nasa y-axis. And that will complete our properties of the graph of this quadratic function. Tada! Alright. Okay, let's determine the properties of the graph of this quadratic function. So, first, hanapin natin yung vertex niya. So, yung vertex niya is located at the highest or the lowest point of our parabola. Since the parabola is opening downwards, okay, expect that our vertex is located at the highest point. So, yung highest point natin is located here. So, ang vertex niya is 1, 0. Now, yung axis of symmetry naman, let's draw a vertical line na tatama dun sa ating vertex. So, yung formula ng ating axis of symmetry will be x is equal to the x-coordinate of our vertex. So, we will have x is equal to 1. Kasi yun yung ating x-coordinate ng ating axis of symmetry. Next, let's proceed to maximum or minimum value. Yung vertex natin is nasa taas ng ating parabola. So, we are going to get the maximum value of our quadratic function. Now, the maximum value will be the y-coordinate of our vertex. So, in this case, the y-coordinate of our vertex is 0. Therefore, the maximum value is 0. Now, punta naman tayo kay x-intercept. Si x-intercept is part of the parabola that passes through our x-axis. So, ito yung x-axis natin. Yung x-intercept natin is located here. Okay. So, take note, pareho yung ating vertex at yung ating x-intercept. Kasi pareho silang nasa x-axis. Okay. So, we have 1, 0 as our x-intercept. Now, punta naman tayo kay y-intercept. So, yung y-intercept natin, it is part of the parabola that passes through our y-axis. So, ito yung y-axis natin and it will intersect dito sa coordinate na to, which is 0, negative 2. So, that will be our y-intercept. And this will complete our property of the graph of our quadratic function. Tada! Alright. And that is it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have comments, questions, recommendations, suggestions for my next video, please leave them in our comment section below. Share this video and subscribe. And for more videos like this, you can go to my channel, Teacher Justin. And that is it for today. Again, I'm Teacher Justin. Goodbye, God bless, and stay safe. See you on my next video. Peace.